Welcome to Coffee and Conversation. My name is Honorine, and today I'm with Virginia Machado, who is pursuing a master in Spanish Linguistics and Literature. Virginia, welcome and thank you for being with me today.
Sure thing, my pleasure.
Let's start with a little introduction.
Well, my name's Virginia. I was born in Venezuela, but I've lived in Florida most of my life. I lived in Miami first, then in Naples, and then I did my undergrad in Lakeland, which is in the center of Florida between Tampa and Orlando, at Florida Southern College. I did my bachelor's so I double majored in math and then Spanish literature and culture, and then I had minors in studio art, and I got combined sociology, psychology. I was trying. And then I came after the undergrad. I taught for 3 years at Winter Haven High School, and then I came up to Tallahassee originally I came up to do a PhD in pure math. So when I started grad school at FSU, it was in the math department. And then in last year, 2021, fall of 2021, I started a master's in the Modern Languages and Linguistics department, doing Spanish literature and linguistics.
What made you go to Modern Languages and Linguistics departments? Were you already thinking before? Oh, I think you were hesitating between the two?
I wasn't hesitating between the two when I applied to FSU. I was actually hesitating between math and law school when I applied to FSU. But while I started my PhD here, I met some friends who either had done it or were in this program in the Modern Languages department, and I really liked that for the master's I didn't have to choose between literature and linguistics, because my background in the Spanish from my undergrad is Spanish literature. I didn't have any background in linguistics, but because I did have math background, I thought, well, linguistics is more analytical in that sense. So I thought it would be an interesting thing to combine with the literature. So I liked that for the master's you didn't have to specify, because in a lot of other places you only either do literature master's slash PhD or linguistics master's slash PhD, either literature or linguistics. You don't combine them, but this program for just the master's allows you to combine them, which is why I wanted to do it.
And are you thinking doing the PhD afterwards?
Yeah, I'm still debating on that. So I ultimately, yes, I will do a PhD. I just I love the department. I feel great. So it would be very comfortable for me to stay and do literature PhD or linguistics, but I am leaning more towards the literature. You know, I miss math, and I want to see if I would prefer to pursue a PhD in math. So I'm actually going to go to a different program. I graduate from the master's in May, and then I'm going to do a math program at Smith College for a year to kind of help me decide, okay, well, do I want to do the PhD in math, or do I want to do the PhD in literature?
Okay, and what do you miss about math?
I mean, the math I did was pure math, so it wasn't number based. It was very like kind of logic, and there was a process to get to the final result, right? When you're proving something, or so I missed that kind of, I don't know if to say deeper or more analytical. It's just a different thought process, you know? Because you definitely do analytical thinking in linguistics, and in a way in literature too. It's just a different process and vibe, I guess.
Your profile is very interesting, because usually, you know, people in literature, they hate math and vice versa.
Yeah.
But you love both, and it seems like when you're doing one, you miss the other one.
And honestly, I have a lot more fun teaching Spanish, precisely because so many people tend to hate math. So like teaching math is really oh, come on, like you don't have to be so apprehensive about it right from the get-go. Like, and it's sad that it is whatever we've been doing to teach kids math from an early age isn't working, because you're not born hating math. That's something that like you learn to hate. And wherever we're teaching them to hate it, we need to fix that. Because there's definitely, math is so important and vital to the world, to the way the world works, that it's sad that so many people want to walk away or shy away from it, especially such an early age. Like, what has traumatized kids so soon to want to walk away from math?
It's very interesting, as you said. Where do we start, like hating math and feeling like we're not good student in mathematics? Is it something you were interested in looking at for like a PhD project or even a journal article?
So I would say originally no, because in pure math your topics aren't for PhDs are not socially based, I guess. Like, you're not looking at social context. That's the issue with grad school, that like I love grad school, but at the same time it's very frustrating because you have to narrow something down so tiny and so specific. And I just have so many wide interests, and I'm like, I don't know where I want to go. I don't want to narrow it down. I want to do everything and take everything, but obviously you can't. But I don't know if there would be a program or an advisor that I could work with to do a PhD in pure math that would focus on that social aspect of math. Because the thing is, whenever you're learning to shy away from math, you're not learning pure math yet, I don't think, because it's too young. I mean, you learn basic like arithmetic, the concept of numbers, which in a way could potentially be abstract math, but probably not the way that we're teaching it in the classroom. But maybe that's the issue. Maybe if we taught it more abstract based rather than tangible, maybe we could.
And are you part of any groups at FSU, any association, organizations?
Yes, I am a member of HiGSA, which is the Hispanic Graduate Student Association. I served last year, I think it was, on the board, or maybe the year before that. One of the years at some point, sorry, the years like after a while start to mesh together, especially with after COVID and everything kind of stopped. And so I'm like, which year was that again? But yeah, I served on the board for a while, and then or for a year. And I'm still a member, but I'm no longer on the board.
And so what does it mean to you to be Hispanic?
I mean, to me, being Hispanic is very important because it's who I am. It's part of me, right? Like, it's defined. It's obviously defined every aspect of my life to where I am today. Not being born in this country and then growing up in this country, and the different ways that being Hispanic has been seen within the country and within the people around me, obviously have an impact and an effect, right? So it is very much important to me. In my family, no one has a graduate degree. That's not normally the way it worked either in previous generations or in other countries, because I mean, I wasn't born here, so I'm not first generation, but like I am first generation living in or like growing up a good chunk of my life in the United States and like doing the school system in the United States. This concept was a little foreign to my family. I think I am used to simply because I am Hispanic, right? Like, Hispanics have a very close ties with your family and your community. And I'm not saying that like US Americans don't, but I think the way the community is built is a little bit different.
What role played HiGSA for you at FSU? Maybe in how you felt at FSU, or like why was it important for you to join that group?
Well, like I said, I was the only Hispanic female in my group, so I very much did not feel like maybe they understood my cohort maybe didn't understand truly the impact that like being away from my family, not knowing anyone here at Tallahassee. Because when I moved to Tallahassee, I didn't know anyone here. Because to some people, it's very like normal, and I think you can be away from your family for a really long time, not see them, not have too much time to talk to them because you're so busy trying to study, and not really feel that absence. But I felt it a lot. And so having being able to join HiGSA and just being able to speak to other people in Spanish and knowing that we have something in common, not just the language, but like sometimes some of the thought processes, right? And some of the cultural identity and histories. And it definitely gave me much more of a sense of home here in Tallahassee, where I was just starting to build a home. So it was definitely very, very important to me, and I'm very glad that I randomly stumbled upon that table at a HiGSA, and I still remember the two members that are very dear to my heart that were there and helped me join. And you know.
That's very good. That's why organizations are so important on campus.
Mm-hmm.
For my last question, how do you see yourself in 5 years from today?
I guess that's going to be largely based on which PhD I decide to do, because if I do the literature PhD, I think I would have finished it by then and hopefully have found a job and be at some university or college teaching. But if I do the math PhD, I might not be done with it yet. No, I really probably will not be done with it yet. So I would be still studying and working towards that.
Well, thank you so much for your time. It was a pleasure to get to know you better.
Thank you, Honorine. Same thing for you.